everybody, I'm back. I know I've been gone for probably like 10 weeks. Had some surgery done and recovery, and then been cleaning and pressing a lot of books to try to sell. Got a whole lot of new X-Men in to try to fill in holes in my collection. They're off to CGC right now. Also got a couple of big books that I'll do on a separate video, I guess. But I found myself with kind of a unique opportunity, I think, to do an apples to apples comparison on CGC's case versus CBCS's current case. I know when the CBCS current cases came out, I was kind of put off by the font, but then I started digging through my books. Like I said, I've been working on my collection itself, and not bothered by the font anymore. In fact, I like it. So, as you can see, I've got CGC, CBCS side by side. I think right off the bat, they both, you're drawn to the gray, maybe more so to CGC because it's white, whereas this is a light blue. I'll just grab the CBCS case here. I definitely like this is kind of a holographic logo with the shield and CBCS. Something I noticed looking at these two books, and if I can, I'll get a picture. I tried to scan it, but with the height or thickness of the cases, I wasn't able to get a good scan. But looking at these two books, it's pretty drastic how different the books are for the same grade. Looking at this 9.6, and if I can, I'll try to put it up over here for you guys for the CBCS slab. I see 0 spine ticks, 0 color book breaking spine ticks. There are sharp corners, the tiniest little bit white down on this bottom left hand corner. The back, a little bit of dirt on it, not much, but a little bit. But since my goal is to get these in variants too, I'm not going to worry about that because I need to find a higher grade Mark Jewelers than I already have. The CGC slab, again, you're drawn to it. I mean, the CGC logo, the hollow foil, you gotta get it in just the right light for it to pop. And then it does pop, you see the CGC logo with the scales on it. It's like there's like a flashing circle when you move it. But it just, when it's not in the right light, it's just this silver lump. The 9.6 I do think pops, like I said already, because of white, and I can understand why CBCS didn't want to outright copy that. Let's take a look at the condition of the book, because I noticed this earlier. The wrap is a little worse. Again, I'll put it up over here if I can get a good photo of it. Top left, the wrap's over, I don't know, maybe like a quarter of an inch down. Or an eighth of an inch over, and down probably 3 inches to where it meets where it needs to be up. And I imagine, same thing on the bottom here. The front cover leans over. I'll look at more carefully in the CBCS class case. But what I really noticed here was this top left corner's got a production flaw. So does the bottom right corner, but there are 1, 2, 3 really minor spine ticks, and then 1 right under where it says Galactus. Again, hopefully it's right up here for you. That I'd call moderate. It's not heavy, but it does go into the cover like an eighth of an inch. So I noticed that the corners on this are sharp, just like the CBCS. Obviously 9.6s are going to be sharp. One of my favorite covers, and that's honestly why I've been getting many copies. And then also, I really think that if she shows up in the FF movie, it'll hit as far as spec goes. And also, if Johnny or anybody just says I'm going up with, well, I don't know why anybody else would, but Johnny says I've got to go meet Frankie, well, then that's spec for the next movie, and everybody's going to go, because spec is back. So, as far as CGC versus CBCS goes, I regret about a month before CBCS came out with their new case, or at least their new label. The case is the same from what I understand. I sent in my UK price variant X-Men to CGC. So I feel like I'm kind of stuck. I want them all to match, alright? I don't think that's too crazy. But these last half dozen issues or so I've been trying to get. Now I'm worried about CGC's cases changing quickly. I don't think it's a quick thing. I think with the engineering and everything they're going to have to do to fix the problems they've been having, it's probably a year out, even though we're like 6 weeks into CGC gate number 1. I've always liked the CBCS cases better, the case itself, but I didn't care for the label because it didn't stand out. And I know that's what they were going for, was just, and they wanted people to look at the book, not the grade. And I think it really hurt them because, people who slab want to see the grade pretty prominently. You put it up on your wall. You can't see the grades right now because I lowered the camera for this. But, if you look up at the wall, yeah, those are great books. But it is also nice to be able to see at a glance, hey, this is a 9.6. Hey, this is a 9.8. Without having to go up and scrutinize it. That way you can enjoy the cover art as well as the grade. It's just all these problems that CGC's been having, the reholder gate, employee fraud gate. I don't know if anybody's come up with a clever phrase for that one. It just, to me, illustrates a systemic lack of accountability, I guess. Because for years now, people like myself have gotten books back and not understood why the grade it got was the grade it got. I mentioned on one of my earlier videos that, like all of us during COVID, it was like, I have time to look at my comic collection now. And having bought a G.I. Joe #1 at a yard sale and being new to the hobby as far as how it is now, I just found out about grading companies and things like that. So I sent it in, and I know, especially when I got it back, because with the long delay, I had a chance to learn. It was awarded a 9.8, and it had 4, and I don't even want to say moderate because they were pretty deep spine ticks on it. Man, that should not have been 9.8. It should have been maybe a 9.4, maybe. And then again, looking at some of the books I've gotten back with my X-Men, it's just like, why is this an 8.5? And without grader's notes, you don't know. When I did my last videos before I took my hiatus, I had, in my opinion, I sent in like 45 books. And I had one submission where I think Improved Collecting calls them Harsh Harry, and I don't know what the other one is, but I think I got split between 2 graders having sent them in. because on one side, I had grader's notes for 24 of the 25 books, including the rejects on my pre-screen of 8.5. Those rejects came back with grader's notes. And then the other grader, who got, I guess I sent in 50 books, because it got split weird for some reason. It went 19-1 because the X-Men 101 I sent in got bumped up, and then 5 after that. So only 6 of them had grader's notes. None of the rejects. I think I had maybe 3 or 4 rejects on each side, because I put in a pre-screen for 8.5 because that was my minimum. But just looking at some of the books that got rejected, I in my last order that's at Sarasota right now, I resubmitted 2 of those books, because I just, looking at them, I can't see why they got that low. To me, they're 9.2, 9.4s. It just bugs me. Some of the inconsistencies, and then on top of that, you have these frauds. Even the way they're dealing with the frauds is shady. They come out with this list of 350, and it's like, oh, okay, that's 350. But it's not. As far as CBCS goes, here are the knocks I hear on CBCS. Customer service. Apparently you can't get a hold of anybody, and when you do, a lot of people are convinced that it's not in the US. Let's say it that way. And then the other thing I've heard is, and this was during COVID if I remember correctly, they moved their base of operations, and when they moved it, for whatever reason, they sent books home with employees who I'm guessing were also moving, and they lost a number of books. I've never heard a resolution to that. If you know more than I do, please let me know in the comments. Send me a link to a video that explains it, what have you. But those are the 2 knocks I've heard. So to me, you've got a case that I think most of us probably agree is a better case. It's clearer. It's definitely more stout. Thanks to Immaculate Comics? Yeah, Immaculate Comics. We know that it's less likely to be broken into without being shown that it's broken into. It feels better, and now that I have looked at it again, it looks better. So again, I'm regretting sending my X-Men in. I've got to send that stuff to CGC so it matches, because I've just got too much money to crack them and resubmit to CBCS. Probably $600-700 in grading of the books I already have, and then there's no guarantee that it will come back in the same or similar grade. Because again, looking at these 2, the CGC book has 4 spine ticks, including one I would consider at least moderate, and this one does not. But they were both awarded the same grade. I know there are other videos out there where they've sent in the same book to all 3 grading companies, all 3 major grading companies, and seen what the grades came back as. But again, my understanding is that generally CBCS might grade a little harder, and I wonder if that has come into play with, CGC was first, obviously. It became the industry standard, but I think anecdotally we might be getting better grades from CGC for the same book. I don't have much substantiation for that, but it's just, I think CBCS has an opportunity here that many of you already talked about. CGC immediately went into damage control, lowered grading fees, started this new tier where you can submit without a subscription. I think CBCS could match CGC's prices. All these acronyms are driving me crazy. They might win a fair deal of the market share. I just spent about $3,300 after fees and everything on 33 issues of Byrne's Fantastic Four, which is my next goal, is to get those in variants. The vast majority are going to be Canadian price variants. There's UK variants from 232 to 237, and there's a gap between those two that I'll fill with Mark Jewelry variants. But those were all older CBCS labels, and I'm definitely going to send them in and get them reholdered. That's how I came across this book. It was one I bought off of Heritage, I think, and it was the old holder, so I sent that thing in. I think they had a deal where it was $10 or $12 to get reholdered, and with the new holders, I wanted to check them out. I think, well, not even think. Here's what I'm doing. My personal books that I don't intend to sell, I intend to pass down, are going to be CBCS. I like the case. It's cleaner. You know, even if it doesn't have the resale value for my daughters when I pass, I don't care. Books that I intend to sell until such time that CBCS is valued as much as CGC, I think I gotta send them into CGC. But I'm seriously considering just sending them into CBCS because of all the problems right now. So if you like this kind of content, like, comment, subscribe, definitely comment. I think that's where most of the interaction obviously comes from, but I'm a small channel. I'm gonna respond to you, and hopefully you guys, share with me what's going on at CBCS that I'm not aware of, your thoughts on the whole CGC gates, things of that nature. And I guess I'll wrap it up here. Till I see you next time. I'll see you next time. Bye, folks.